It's been a wild ride the last few days in the markets here. Solana down over 20% in the last couple days. Other coins are getting hit even harder. Aster is way off of its all-time high, although it did have quite a run up over the weekend. So wanted to check in, see where everybody was at, how trading is going, as well as giving an update on how my market making strategy is going on some of the smaller coins that I have been trading. And what I am seeing is there are a lot of opportunities out there to trade some of these newer coins that are just getting listed on the perpetual futures exchanges. And what I'm looking at doing is basically doing market making on an exchange while trying to stay delta neutral by hedging on a different exchange. And right now, I am currently running this kind of in a sim broker, but I'm using live data from two different exchanges for the determining when orders are getting filled. And let's just go ahead and pull up one of the coins here that I'm currently running this on. Now, STBL, I really actually don't know anything about this coin. I haven't really looked into what's behind this, but it just got listed on both Paradex and Hyperliquid within the last couple days. So I added it to the mix yesterday. And one interesting thing that you can really see here is that the what we're looking at here is the spread to buy it on one exchange versus sell it on another exchange. And this is buying on Paradex, selling on Hyperliquid. You can see in order to do that, if you were to do that with market orders, it's going to cost like 18%. This is insane. The spread on Paradex is 2,000 basis points, 20%. Now, if there's a caveat here, and that is this spread is for API traders only. So if you were to go to their website and as a retail trader want to place an order, you would see a much better ask price than the 52 cents there. And that is because Paradex is using special order types that are not visible to API traders. So because of that, as an API trader, I can't see anything better than a 53-cent ask price. And so that is in theory making it very difficult to do market making on Paradex because if I start accumulating inventory, short inventory, and I want to buy with a market order at the ask, it's going to cost me almost 20% across the spread. So this is one reason I am looking at, market making on one exchange, but then being trying to stay delta neutral by offsetting with an order on another exchange like Hyperliquid. So I have probably about seven or eight coins now that I am currently trading with this strategy, and I am cautiously optimistic on these results so far. If I can actually pull up the stats here, here's the equity curve of the trade. So this has been running since the weekend. Now it's a bit unbelievable. It's showing basically a 5,000 basis point uh, run up here in the equity curve over like a 5-day period. So roughly averaging 10% a day. And the max drawdown over that time period has been 2.5%. So obviously a huge grain of salt here. One big caveat is the fact that this strategy is not going to have a huge capacity, right? If you look at the order sizes on Paradex uh, and Hyperliquid in the order book, you'll basically see a lot of stuff between 100 to $1,000 worth of size at each particular order book level. So if you're going to be placing orders, you're not going to be placing very big orders, right? So the whole idea here is just trying to get very, very small wins and compound that over time. But you're not going to be able to place, a $50,000 order and have that thing get absorbed by the market. So the idea is to try to kind of spread this over as many coins as possible. And the ones that seem to have a better shot at um, showing profitability are the ones that are very volatile, the ones that have just gotten listed because um, there was an airdrop or whatever, and then trading those while they still have decent liquidity. And then what I see as over time, as liquidity starts drying up because they're not the latest thing anymore, then it might be time to roll those out of the portfolio. The other caveat here is I'm using live prices, but I'm trading this in a sim broker that I created that's using those prices to determine when the trades are taking place. Now, I'm making some assumptions about the latency of the exchanges. Like, how long is it going to take me from the time I submit an order to the time it actually hits their order book? And the time then back to getting a confirmation that that order is gotten executed, right? And so I've put kind of a random amount of variation for the latency in those requests to try to simulate what I'd see on Paradex and Hyperliquid. So the next step on this is to get my Hyperliquid Java API up and running. I've got one for Paradex. Once I get that up and running and tested, then I can begin live trading with this with small dollar amounts and see how my assumptions end up holding up. But obviously, this equity curve seems a bit unbelievable at the moment. I've done a lot of trading over time, and when I see something like this, I'm very skeptical. So the thing that's given me a little bit of hope is like there was a vast improvement in the with the types of orders that I was submitting. So originally I was using market orders to try to get in and out of the market. And what I was seeing was that the latency, especially around the time that the Fed made their announcement, it blew a hole right through the strategy. There was so much volatility, and the latency with trying to get in and out around that time was just killer. So, but the fact that this thing has been fairly consistent is giving me some hope that even if my assumptions aren't totally correct, that I will hopefully still see something that's going to be showing some profit when I kind of release this out into the wild. So we'll see how this goes once I get this up and running. As I said, I'm working on a Java API for Hyperliquid, and once I get that up, I'll be ready to release this out there. Some of the other coins that I got here that just kind of started trading are XPL, 0G, and you can see the thing is the spreads just bounce around like crazy. That's kind of the fascinating thing about this. And then of course Aster, this thing has been all over the place the last few days, had a huge run up to, I don't know, maybe $2.50, and it's back down around $1.80 now. AV&T had a pretty good run up as well the last few days. So all sorts of opportunities out there. I'm always kind of checking in on the exchanges to see what they're listing, and if it's something that looks interesting enough, it's pretty easy for me just to create a new instance of this client and get it to start trading that particular coin. So anyway, I'd love to hear about any struggles you guys are having or any actual just trading you're doing with either market making or statistical arbitrage or funding rate arbitrage, and what's some of the challenges that you are running into. Are you able to successfully uh, execute a market making algo on one of these exchanges? And if so, how's it going? And also, as always, would love to just hear what your guys' questions are. If you have any anything that you want to see or hear more about as far as what I'm working on with arbitrage and these coins and crypto. Would love to create some more stuff for you guys. And in the meantime, I hope you guys are having an awesome week. I'm going to get back to work here and hopefully have this Hyperliquid API wrapped up by maybe early next week and can start doing some live testing. So have an awesome week, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.